to infinity and beyond.
What's up, everybody? It's Roger and James here from Infinity and Beyond, presented by DisKingdom.com and DisGaming.com. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, all the information that came out from E3, but also there was a live story demo that went up on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, so we all got to play it. I did put up a Let's Play video on Sunday night as well of me kind of playing through that on there. I'm gonna be honest, that demo was a lot longer than I was expecting. 20 minutes, it felt like I'd played the entire of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 at that point.
I felt it stopped right as it was starting to get good, but you know,
But that's
the idea. They want you to buy the game, and in that sense, it failed utterly for me. But
yeah.
You know, I will pick it up at some point, probably around $20. But the demo really didn't wow me at the game. I was already just kind of like, I'm gonna flow. But for me, it didn't push me that last little bit to be like, oh man, yeah, I have to get this when it comes out.
I think for me, the demo had a couple of. First off, it was longer than I was expecting because that was going to be it. So we did get to play as a lot of different characters. You know, must have been what 5, 6, 7 battles that we played in. So we got to play as most of the roster. I mean, I did get to the point of, you know, sometimes I was taking out those droids, and I'm like, I really feel like I'm just button mashing, and there's no challenge in this in the slightest. And then going up against Ultron at the end with I think it was the guy from Bionic Commando, and I'm fighting away and I go, his bar's not moving. His bar is not moving. It's like, and I'd already lost him, and it's like you almost got to the point of, no, I'm actually being forced to lose this match on purpose.
Yeah, no, it took me a little while, but then I realized, yeah, you are in fact supposed to lose the Ultron battle. I did get his health bar to move like a tiny bit, I got 5% or something like that. But after a couple minutes, I have to lose this battle, and as it turns out, you do. Which is kind of cool because normally they don't force you to lose the battle. Normally they'll let you win the battle and go, oh, by the way, you didn't actually win the battle.
No.
So.
I was impressed. It's definitely very fast. It's very furious. Graphically, it looks a massive improvement on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which got released just like Christmas time. What should you'd expect after this amount of time?
I would hope so.
Yeah. I thought it was very much more cartoony, comic book style. Not very like. But then at the same time, having just gone through the Injustice mode, it then really did show like this. I mean, I played Injustice on easy, and I was sort of sometimes struggling. But with Marvel vs. Capcom, it's like I barely even felt like I was beating the droids before within a few punches and kicks, and I'm like, well, I haven't really even got any moves done, but I'm definitely interested in this. I think it was a great idea from them to drop it during E3 because that was the only big demo I think that dropped during E3, and it's like, right, okay. I mean, to get hyped up for that game, there was not a lot of hype going into it, but they really did kind of, I think, manage to kind of go, whoa, here you go off and play this, which, like you say, might have worked, might not have worked, but for me, I was like, yeah, this is great. This is exactly what we need for E3.
Yeah, no, dropping it during E3 is great because obviously the majority of people who are watching E3 aren't at E3 and they don't get a chance to actually experience the games. So giving them a chance to experience one game that a lot of people are looking forward to is a great idea.
Yeah.
Nintendo should take some notes on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I felt, like I said, I remember I was just playing for it, and then you'll hear me in the video playing it, and I'm going, this demo feels really long. I just wasn't expecting it. I think because I remember when I played Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when it got, and you know, you plowed through the story in 20 minutes, and therefore this time was like, okay, this is just looks like they got a bit stronger. The graphics in what I have decided, and this was something I decided yesterday. I think I'm gonna do a video series before Marvel vs. Capcom, looking at all these Capcom characters of all the games that they've to learn a little. Some of the characters I know, some of them I don't, and I feel like it's that thing of for Marvel fans. You know, some of these characters I'm like, well, who is this guy? The guy running around, I think it's Chris from Resident Evil, and I'm like, well, I don't think I've ever played a Resident Evil game. I had no idea who he was.
I knew who all the characters were, even if I hadn't actually played any games with them, which I think describes almost all of them except Mega Man. But yeah, I'm not sold on the Capcom characters at all. I know this is part of the franchise.
Yeah.
This is the 4th entry into the franchise, so this is nothing new. But I'm sitting there like with, Arthur from, what was it, Ghouls and Ghosts or whatever, and just like, this I mean, Thor got a nice little couple quips in there, but this doesn't, my mind is not computing this.
Yeah, see, actually, Arthur didn't bother me because it was like, well, it kind of interconnects with 4, if they did some time hopping like they're going to be doing in Lego Marvel Superheroes, he kind of would be a hero at the time. It's like, okay, I can dig him. Bionic Commando, well, he's basically the Winter Soldier, so that's kind of, that's all right. But it was just interesting seeing like how it all works. I mean, like Chun-Li and like Captain Marvel. Oh, well, let's do this. I'm sort of sitting there going, well, Captain Marvel's super powered compared to Chun-Li, or she. It's just like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's just this thing. I have a disconnect between the characters. There's no basis for this crossover that I care about in the slightest. And seeing guys like Mega Man next to Captain America, just cool. This just reads like really bad fan fiction to me, like really bad.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I'm sitting there and I'm staring at the screen and like, Captain America's head is so small. Like, that was one of the things that was getting me.
Was the Infinity character, didn't he?
If the Disney Infinity character was like on steroids, except the steroids didn't affect their heads.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't just Cap. It was all human characters. All the human characters had very small heads for their body size. Even Thor looked weird.
Yeah.
And I was so distracted by it that I couldn't really enjoy it all that much.
I mean, they announced Thanos, Gamora, Nova, and Doctor Strange are in there from the Marvel side. From Capcom, Dante, Zero, Spencer, and Arthur. Again, it's this kind of weird thing. I mean, the gameplay. I mean, they released a couple of videos, story trailer, gameplay trailer. We got to have the demo. That worked very well. Again, it's a situation. I think they really have to build up the hype for it. I think this one's going to do better once people have got it in there, and I think the esports online is really what's going to push this, and I think that's really going to be the main fighting game of the winter. Well,
the esports counts for quite a bit, but they've got to make up for the fact that the X-Men are missing from this title. This was something we were expecting. We were kind of hoping it wouldn't, because we've seen the X-Men start popping up in other games that they weren't originally in, like Future Fight on the mobile apps. But Wolverine is a staple of this series, and not having Wolverine, one of their biggest name characters, at least as far as we know, the leaked roster might be wrong. He might be coming as DLC down the road, but the fact that they don't have him in the launch, I think, is going to hurt them, especially with the popularity of Logan earlier this year. So
it's an odd one, because I keep seeing these comments and stuff, and like these like memes and stuff of like the X-Men being missing, and I'm just like, I don't know whether like for me, because I've having played so many Marvel games in the last 5 years or so, I'm so used to it. It's like, well, this is the status quo. This is no different than any game I've been playing for years. So therefore, it doesn't bother me. But I think when you've got people that maybe haven't been in the series for years, now they're going, well, where are all my favourite characters? We'll just sort it out, put them in. And it's like, like I said, I'm probably so used to the concept that they're not involved, it doesn't bother me.
Right, and we've said this on past ones. This has been the status quo for a while, but Wolverine has been a staple of this series, and not just him, Cyclops and a couple other X-Men as well. But this is the most mainstream game Marvel has released in the last several years. I mean, Marvel Heroes and Marvel Heroes Omega are probably the biggest ones, and they get attention because they're free to play. But in the last, 5 years or so, almost every Marvel game has been about either one specific character, so it makes sense that Wolverine's not in it, or a mobile game. And as popular as mobile games are, the market for mobile and the market for PlayStation and Xbox users only overlaps, a small amount. So there's a lot of console gamers who are going to be not used to the fact that the X-Men have basically been embargoed from video games for several years.
Like I said, I hope in some ways that maybe they'll do Wolverine and Cyclops just as. I think as long as they can get Wolverine as a DLC character, it might calm it down a little bit. But then at the same time, I'm looking at the way it's running and going, it looks fine. I mean, they're definitely going after the movie side of things. But as a whole, I'm really looking forward to this game. I've always liked it. I've always liked Street Fighter 2, that Capcom fighting style, since way back when. I'm just waiting to pick up Street Fighter 2 on the Switch when it drops in price. That's my... it was a thing of, yeah, I want to play that game and I want to have it on the Switch, but I'm not paying £35 for it. I'm going to wait till it drops a bit. But Marvel vs. Capcom, they've kind of released more information on the Deluxe Edition, which has got Black Panther as DLC. There's all these different modes. For me... there's that line of, unlike Injustice, where I haven't bothered with them, I will bother with picking up like the Season Pass or the Deluxe Edition. Primarily, probably maybe more so because of the site, but also I think I'm a bit more invested in, having Black Panther as a DLC character is a lot more interesting to me than some random DC that I'd never heard of.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to depend on the individual person, obviously, because I do know the characters from both sides of the equation, and several weeks ago we talked about Injustice, and I'm not all that interested in the Season Pass because we've got the Mortal Kombat characters in there, and I don't give two figs about the Mortal Kombat characters. And MVC is the same way, where even if I did get it the week it came out, I wouldn't be touching the Season Pass because half the characters on the Season Pass are going to be Capcom characters, and I don't care.
Yeah. So now if we can get Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter, that'll be epic.
I mean, yeah, both franchises need a kick in the butt. So,
no, I definitely feel like it was one of those situations. I mean, they did a live stream for a couple hours playing it, but I felt once the demo got in all our hands, in some ways. I think that was a big issue from E3 as a whole. And Marvel vs. Capcom was the only one I feel like that did it right, because, if you've got this demo on everyone's playing and everyone's sharing, and it's like, do this, just put a demo up. I know it's like we don't get too many of these, but that there probably will help more so on anything else than we've seen before. And I do think that they definitely scored a lot of good points for having that demo up during E3. Yeah,
and I mean, just in general, demos, getting them in the hands of your customers, unless it's an absolutely terrible demo, broken and bad frame rates or whatever, you're going to get more people interested in your game than you're going to get people turned off to it.
Yeah.
And people love free things, so they might try a demo for a game that they weren't, going to try before, and now they're like, all right, awesome. Yeah.
ARMS is a perfect example of a game that literally I tried to test demo, I liked it, and I brought it this weekend. I'm going to start playing that tonight because I wanted to finish off Guardians of the Galaxy. But again, that there was a situation where a demo sold me on a game that I wasn't previously interested in, and but it might put a few people off, but I'm sure it's going to, in the long run, it will help. And probably people will play through that demo plenty of times and kind of learn a lot of the moves and stuff. But on the whole, I thought it was a good move by Capcom to get that out there.
And they did it at just the right time, because they got to build off the E3 hype. It'll be available for people to play during D23 next month.
Yeah.
And, it all around... Releasing a demo shows confidence in your product. It gives people a chance to try it before they drop money, which is always going to be a big deal. And, it's just good PR, because we don't see demos that much anymore.
And it definitely also, with 3 months to go before the release, that gives them chance now to kind of rev up the reveals, start revving up. We've got San Diego Comic-Con, we've got D23. Those events will kind of help push it along. But no, I'm really excited about it. I thought it feels kind of quite nice now to be sat here going, oh yeah, well there was something showed at E3 and I actually got to play it. It does make life a lot easier.
And it makes you feel not as bad about not being able to get out to E3 or the major press conferences. I hope that when D23 pops around, maybe we'll see like a Battlefront 2 demo or something like that pop around the same time.
Yeah, they did sort of. They've put out the Star Wars Battlefront beta it's a pre-order bonus, but also I even saw it on the Xbox Marketplace for $400 if you wanted to get in on the beta. So I think there was a little mistake there. But so I'm just glad Marvel vs. Capcom just gave it to us for free without any sign-ups. No, nothing. Just here it is. Play it, download it, go for it.
Yeah, the pre-order bonus, enter the beta. I mean, it's nothing new. Obviously, Destiny did it. Destiny 2's doing it. Call of Duty's been doing it for years. I wish that would die in a fire, honestly. Just let us play the dang beta without having to drop money. Hey, you know what? Making the beta open to everybody without having to drop money is probably more likely to get them to buy the game than putting the money down first to get into it. So,
well, on that note, guys, we'd love to know what you guys think of the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite story mode and what you saw from E3. Are you excited about the game? Did you play it, and what did you think? We'd love to know your thoughts on this. As per usual, you can check us out over at DisGaming.com and at DisKingdom.com, and follow us on all the different social medias, including this YouTube channel or audio platform, depending on what you're listening to us on. James, where can they find you?
Sometimes at heroiclegacy.com.
Okay, and also this month in June, I am giving away Cars Free Driven to Win on either Xbox One, PlayStation 4, or Nintendo Switch. So you can check that over at thisgaming.com/giveaway. Okay, on that note, thank you very much for watching, guys.
Laters.